So today's session would be the basic economy. So is there anybody who doesn't know Tamil? So today's session would be the basic economy. So is there anybody who doesn't know Tamil? So today's session would be basic economy. So is there anybody who doesn't know Tamil? So let's compare. Venkatesh, okay. Okay, Venkatesh, what do you understand by the term economy? Economy, na enna? What is economics? Any idea? Economics, man. What do you understand by the term economics? புவியியல் புவியியல்னா வந்து ஜாகிரபில எக்கனாமிக்ஸ் என்ன பொருளாதாரம் எக்கனாமிக்ஸ்ல வந்து வாட் டஸ் இட் வி லேர்ன் ஸோ என்ன வந்து நம்ம லேர்ன் பண்ணுவோம் See, there are few things which you have to keep it in mind before starting to prepare for UPSC. One is that the classes will not be lecture based. So we won't be giving you all the lectures and you will be listening, taking notes, and likewise, this won't work. It's point number one. It has to be much more interactive. That's first thing which you have to keep it in mind. Second, there are no right answers and there are no wrong answers. Whatever you feel like speaking, you have to speak things out. This is the second point which you have to keep it in mind. Third, don't worry about the people around you. What they will think, let them think. You have to break the barriers and speak out to improve your communication. If you have to come up with a good communication skills, this is the stage, this is the arena where you can open up. சரிங்களா அப்ப வந்து என்னன்னா if I ask for a question, please do try to answer them. Only if you answer them, I will know to what extent you have understood. At the same time, you can also break the barriers of your self doubts. Getting the point. So it's common for everybody. So for that, you have some answers to say. You can actually come up with your answers. We will be discussing the right answers later. That's what the purpose of the session is. So we will be discussing things. You don't have to worry about it much. So when it comes to the matter of economics, what you have to understand is that the amount of resources what we have is limited. You go to a market, what do you buy? You don't buy everything you see. Rather, you buy only those things which you want. So what makes you make that choices? So you are making choices. இப்போ உங்ககிட்ட வந்து 100 ரூபா இருக்கு. You have 100 rupees in your hand. You go to a market, you buy 1 kg of apple or 2 kgs of oranges. Either you can buy 1 kg of apple or you can buy 2 kgs of oranges. In this case, on what basis you will make the purchase? So you have 100 rupees in your hand. You're going into a market. You have two choices. That is 1 kg of apple and 2 kgs of orange. So you have only 100 rupees in your hand. Now you have to make a choice. Yes or no? If you have more money, if you have unlimited resources, in that case, the story is different. You can buy both the things. But you have only limited resources. When your resources are limited, when your resources are limited, but your wants are unlimited. Your wants are unlimited. Now you have been forced to make choices. Yes or no? So what is this choices? Choices are informed choices. Informed choices in the sense only if you know what you will get if you buy 1 kg and what you will get in return if you buy 2 kg, then only you can make an informed choice. Otherwise, your choices would be random. So, only if you know the returns, only you know the information, then only you can make a proper choice. அப்பதான் உன்னால ப்ராப்பரா ஒரு சாய்ஸ் வந்து மேக் பண்ண முடியும். இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இல்லைன்னா ஒரு மொபைல் போன் கடைக்கு போறீங்க, 10,000 ரூபாய் கையில இருக்கு, பெஸ்ட் மொபைல் எதை பேஸ் பண்ணி சூஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க? Based on the information, how much RAM it has, what kind of camera it uses, what kind of processor it uses, and with this what you would do is you can actually buy the best mobile with the 10,000 rupees what you have in your hand. So information becomes crucial here. Without the information, what you cannot do is you cannot buy or spend money in those products which might give you maximum returns. Correct? Apo we need to study, then only we will get the information. So what we study, based on which we make the choices, is what we call it as economics. Correct? So இன்னைக்கு நீங்க காலையில எந்திரிச்சு கிளம்பி இன்ஸ்டிடியூட்டுக்கு வரீங்க, பஸ்ல வரலாம், பைக்ல வரலாம், நடந்து வரலாம். How you are making a choice? Based on returns. Are you getting the point? பஸ்ல வந்தா செலவு கம்மி சார், ஆனா லேட் ஆகும். பைக்ல வந்தா சீக்கிரம் வந்துடலாம் சார், ஆனா செலவாகும். எது சார் பெட்டர் சாய்ஸ்? How you are making the choice? Based on the information. So economics is nothing but a study where with the limited resources you make choices to purchase, to buy, to make the transaction in such a way that you get the maximum returns. Correct? Ipo generally what we have to know is we should know the difference between asset and a liability. Correct? Asset na enna, liability na enna? Asset and liability. What is the difference? See, I will tell you something that once you understand the basic economics, what we're going to learn in this particular chapter or in this particular subject would be useful both for your examination as well as for your real time life. You can use all these concepts in your real life also. It would be very appropriate. Are you getting the point? Once you know what are the liabilities you have in your life, and once you know what are the assets you have in your life, you can actually become rich. Instead of knowing this only, many of us have this poor mindset. So, this asset liability concept, the economics concept, as a concept altogether, we can use it in the real life also. That is what you have to keep it in mind. Cheringla. So, what is asset? How do you define asset? How do you define liability? You make a transaction. You make a transaction. Transaction in artham, money moving from one place to another. That is what the transaction is. In economic terms, allam. So, when the money moves from one hand to another hand, I call it as a transaction. When the money moves from one hand to another hand, it will create a product. It could be a service or it could be a good. Goods na enna? It could be a good or service. Goods na enna, service na enna? இது ரெண்டையுமே நம்ம கலெக்டிவ் என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம்? We call it as product. So what is goods and what is services? So people in online can also answer. What is the difference between goods and services? Nobody is there to answer, is it?
Services means சேவை சார்.
சேவைனா என்ன? See, how will you define service? For example,
யாருக்காவது உதவி பண்ற மாதிரி, that means
that is also it's a form of service. We cannot say it's not a service. But என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, goods are those products which you can touch and feel. ஒரு மொபைல் போன் எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அது ஒரு குட். சரிங்களா? உங்க டிஷர்ட் போட்டிருக்கீங்க, ஷர்ட் போட்டிருக்கீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் அண்ட் குட் பிகாஸ் யூ கேன் டச் அண்ட் ஃபீல் தம். நீங்க உங்களோட ஷூ, செருப்பு, எனிதிங் which you can touch and feel, it's what we call it as goods. It will be tangible இருக்கும். இதை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ற இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் நம்ம பிரைமரி அண்ட் செகண்டரி இண்டஸ்ட்ரின்னு சொல்லுவோம். We will come back to different types of industries later. சரிங்களா? ஸோ பிரைமரி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியிலும் செகண்டரி இண்டஸ்ட்ரியிலும் என்ன ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, குட்ஸ் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அதை நீங்க டச் அண்ட் ஃபீல் பண்ணலாம். சரிங்களா? சரண்யா அஸ்வினா இல்ல, நான் அவைலபிள் இல்லை. எனக்கு சோ அப்ப வந்து என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, சர்வீசஸ் ஆர் தோஸ் திங் which you cannot touch and feel. I am teaching you right now. The lesson which you are learning, can you touch it and feel it? நான் ஒரு லெசன் உங்களுக்கு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறேன், எக்கனாமினா என்னன்னு சொல்லி கொடுக்குறேன், ஒரு டெஃபினிஷன் சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்கேன். அதை டச் பண்ண முடியுமா உங்களால? முடியாது. பட் திங் இஸ் தட் யூ பை இட், யூ பே ஃபீஸ், தென் ஒன்லி ஐ வில் டீச் யூ. இன் தட் கேஸ் ஐ கால் திஸ் அஸ் சர்வீஸ். ஒரு ஐடி கம்பெனியில் நீங்க வேலை பாக்குறீங்க, சரிங்களா? You have your mobile phone. There is a software inside your mobile phone. Can you touch the software? You can touch the screen, but you cannot touch the software. You cannot touch and feel the software, but it works. You pay money for that software. In that case, that is a service. We call it as IT enabled service. You go to a bank, they will get your, they take money from you, they will keep your money safe. To keep your money safe, it's a service provided to you. You cannot touch and feel it. Banking is a service. Teaching is a service. ஒரு ஹோட்டல் போறீங்க, சர்வீஸா இல்ல மேனுஃபேக்சரிங்? அங்க உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கிறது குட்ஸா சர்வீஸா? You're getting into a hotel. Is it in service sector or in goods sector?
Service sector.
It's actually both. The service which the server does is a service, but the food, the kitchen, is the area where the food is been prepared. It is actually tangible. It's a good. அப்ப kitchen என்னது? Kitchen is the secondary sector. That is where the goods are produced. The service what the server provides is a tertiary sector. That is, he is providing you with the service of serving the food. Are you getting the point? So, full English எடுத்துருக்கேன். So we need to understand that in asset what happens is we are undertaking a transaction. In that transaction, we are creating a product. It could be a service or it could be a good. Once this product is created, if this product puts money in your pocket, if it gives you returns, in that case, we call those products as asset. If it takes money out of your pocket, if you have to spend for the particular product, in that case, it is called as liability. Now we can go for examples. There is this house which you built with your own money. Will that be considered as an asset or a liability? Where you are staying in that particular house. In that case, what we call that house to be, the building to be called as asset or liability? So how the building would be an asset? Just go for the definition. Asset has to give you money, but the building is not going to give you money. It is going to take money out of your pocket. You have to maintain the building. The value of building will reduce. Today it would be 1 crore, might be. Tomorrow, if you sell it, what will be the cost of the building? It will be in reduced cost now. Are you getting the point? So you will not get much price for an older building. Or pudu building, for a new building, will you get a better price, or for an older building, you will get a better price? எதுக்கு better price கிடைக்கும்? New building. For a new building, you will get a better price. As the building gets older and older, it depreciates. The value of the building would get reduced. The land's value might increase. Land is different. Land is an asset. But the building which you built is a liability. Are you getting the point? If you buy a bike, you are buying a bike for 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees. In that case, what it is? Is it an asset or a liability? You have to give it, let it for service. You have to repair it. You have to put petrol. Everything is there. It takes money out of your pocket. In that case, it's called as liability. Whenever you need to pay, you get loan from somebody. You are getting a loan from somebody. I'm giving you a loan of 100 rupees. While repaying, how much you have to pay me back? With interest, you have to pay me back. You have to pay 110 rupees back. In that case, for me, it's an asset because it is giving money in my packet. It is a liability for you because it is going to take money out of your packet. Are you getting the point? Are you understanding the difference between asset and liability? So, whenever you are spending maximum amount of money, whatever you earn has to go to asset because it will multiply. What you should not do, you should not get loan and invest in liability. So what mistake as a middle class family we do? We get loan, which is a liability, to buy liabilities. That is where we get caught. So whatever we are going to earn is going to go for liabilities. Correcta? One part would go for paying interest, and another part would go for maintaining the liability. So you will have nothing in your hand at the end of the day. So this is how we lose without knowing or having an understanding with respect to what a asset and a liability is. Are you getting the point? So once we have a clear understanding of what an asset is and what a liability is, we will not be investing unwantedly in liabilities. Rather, we will be spending much of our money on asset. We will be getting much of the returns so that we will become better and better every day. That's why economy becomes all the more important. You're getting the point? இதனால தான் நமக்கு economy படிக்கணும். So people in online, any doubts regarding whatever we have seen till now?
No, sir.
So this is how, this is what we need to understand. So now you, with this minimal resources, how we are going to make maximum use of it is what the study is. And this is what we are going to learn in economy. Are you getting the point? Okay, coming back to the discussion again, என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, for producing anything, whatever it could be. So for production of anything, what are the things we need as the basic input? இதெல்லாம் இருந்தா தான் produce பண்ண முடியும். Or if only these things are available, then only we can produce அப்படின்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய பொருட்கள் என்னன்னா, இப்போ for example எதை வேணாலும் எடுத்துங்க, இந்த ஸ்பீக்கர் எடுத்துங்க. You take up the speaker for an example. You take this water bottle for an example. Whatever you take it as an example, to produce it, what are the factors we require? என்னென்ன தேவைப்படும்? See, whatever it could be. Whatever it could be. Exactly, Mahima. That is what it is required. So we require land. Without land, we cannot manufacture anything. Or land or space. Without that space, what we cannot do is we cannot manufacturing anything. Just give me a second. Yes. Machines, everything is good. Yeah, these answers are fine. But what we would do is we will consolidate them into four factors. சரிங்களா, 4 factors தான் தேவைப்படும். There are only 4 factors which are required to manufacture or create any of the product. ஒரு ப்ராடக்டா இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஒரு குட்ஸா இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஒரு சர்வீஸா இருந்தாலும் சரி. It could be a good or a service. To produce them, we require 4 components. These 4 components are the basic components without which you cannot generate any product. So என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, you need land. Without land, you cannot manufacturing things in sky. So there should be a space. Space லாம் நீங்க எதுவுமே manufacture பண்ண முடியாது. You need labor. Everything made around you is made through labor. If you subtract labor from anything you see in front of you, you will only find the raw material. So everything includes labor in it. That's why labor becomes all the more important. புரியுதுங்களா? Labor. Capital. The capital could be of startup capital, or it could be a working capital. Startup capital is nothing but to buy machineries, to build the building, and all these things you need money. And working capital is you need raw material, you have to pay for the employees, and all these things we call it as working capital. Startup capital is to set up a plant. Working capital is to run a plant. So both of them would be called as capital. Capital means nothing but money. Money required to set up and run is what we call it as capital collectively. சரிங்களா? Then the fourth component, yes, rent, everything comes under it. Man, material, money, machine, everything comes under, capital. And fourth point, what you have to note it down is we need something called as entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is to organize these three resources. Entrepreneurship is nothing but the owner of the organization or the management of the organization is what we call it as entrepreneurship. சரிங்களா, இதைத்தான் வந்துட்டு நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா the four factors of protection அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்றோம். If any one amongst these four factors of protection is missing, you cannot produce even a small chalk piece. லேண்ட் இல்ல சார், லேபர் இருக்கு, கேபிட்டல் இருக்கு, என்டர்பிரினர்லாம் இருக்காங்க சார், ஆனால் லேண்ட் மட்டும் இல்ல சார் அப்படின்னா யூ கேனாட் ப்ரொடியூஸ். லேண்ட் நிறைய இருக்கு சார், ஏக்கர் கணக்குல இருக்கு சார், கேபிட்டலும் இருக்கு, நான் தான் ஓனர், ஆனா வேலை செய்ய ஆள் இல்லைனாலும் யூ கேனாட் ப்ரொடியூஸ். எனி ஒன் if it is missing out of this four, you cannot produce. At the same time, what you have to keep it in mind is, if you have enough of these four items, இந்த 4 ஐட்டம் தேவையான அளவுக்கு இருந்துச்சுன்னா, if you have enough of this 4 item, you can create whatever you want. It could be a rocket, it could be a space shuttle, it could be whatever you imagine, you can build it. If you have enough amount of land, enough amount of labor, talented laborers இருக்கணும், skilled laborers, capital, enough amount of money, and a good entrepreneurial skill இருந்துச்சுன்னா ஒரு ராக்கெட் வேணாலும் நீங்க விடலாம். So minimum requirement is also this 4 factors of income, factors of production, and maximum requirement is also this 4 factors of production. Are you getting the point? With this 4 factors of production only, we produce whatever it might be. ஒரு சின்ன chalk piece இருக்கலாம், இல்ல ஒரு பெரிய ராக்கெட்டா இருக்கலாம். Everything is been produced only with the use of these 4 items. Are you getting the point? That's why these are called as factors of production. Factor na என்ன அர்த்தம்? He is the main factor அப்படின்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? இவன் தான் காரணம். He is the reason because of this is happening. இப்ப factors of production என்ன? These all are the reasons why production is happening. And the factors of income, factors of production. This is also called as factors of income. ஏன் சொல்றாங்க அப்படிங்கறத நான் சொல்றேன். ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றாங்கன்னா, this is also called as factors of income. ஏன் அப்படி சொல்றாங்கன்னா, for land what we will give? Rent. For land we need to give rent. For labor what we need to pay? Wages. For capital what we need to pay? Interest. For entrepreneur what do we need to pay? Profit. புரியுதா? ஒரு லேண்டுக்கு நான் ரெண்ட் பே பண்ணணும். getting the point. புரியுதுங்களா? லேண்டுக்கு நான் வந்து ஃப்ரீயா சார் நீங்க கேட்கலாம் சார், ஏன் ஓன் லேண்டா இருந்தா சார்? உங்க ஓன் லேண்டா இருந்தாலுமே, if it is even your own land, what you have to understand is, instead of you doing the business there, if you would have rented it out, you would have got some money which you are foregoing. Still that is considered as a rent. புரியுதுங்களா? என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, let's say I will give you with an example. There is this piece of land which belongs to person X. What he is doing is, he is building a shop in this particular land with his own money. ஒரு ஷாப் கட்டுறாரு. This is a shop, ஓகேங்களா? With his own money. He is not getting rent from, not getting loan from any bank or something like that. He is not doing. Rather, he is building this shop with his own money. Whose money is it? X money. Whose land is it? X land. So land is also his own, capital also is its own. Labor, there is no other labor, rather he itself works in the shop. அவரே என்ன பண்றாரு? அந்த ஷாப்ல ஒர்க் பண்றாரு. So labor also is done by X. Who is the entrepreneur? அதுவும் அவருக்கு. So X is the entrepreneur also, because he is somebody who is managing the complete setup. So அப்படி இருக்க போகும்போது, let's say he gets products for 1,000 rupees and sells it for 1,100 rupees. In this case, what is his profit? What is his profit?
100.
Profit. So அப்போ வந்து, that is where we actually don't think of the factors of income. So here for X, he have invested some money. So land is his own. So instead of he himself starting a shop here, he could have rented it out. Rent option இருந்துச்சு அவருக்கு. ஒன்னு என்ன, he have started the shop in his own land, or he could have rented the land. Now X is getting out of this 100, let's say 25 rupees as rent. Are you getting the point? Not all the 100 rupees is profit. 25 rupees he is getting as a rent. He is paying to himself as rent. Are you getting the point? The people in online, are you understanding? For him, the rent is 25 rupees. He is working. For him, there should be a wage. Instead of working in his own shop, if he would have worked in some other shop, he would have got a wage. அவன் கடையில வேலை பார்க்காம இன்னொரு கடையில வேலை பார்த்து சம்பளம் கிடைச்சிருக்குல்ல, அப்போ இவனுக்கு இது சம்பளமா தான் ஒரு லாபமா வராது. 25 ரூபாய் எப்படி வருது? 25 comes as wage. For his capital, for the money what he used to buy his own shop, for that capital, X will get 25 rupees as what? Interest. And the profit would be 25 rupees. So you will get only 25 rupees. Are you getting the point? So if you need to produce anything, you have to pay an amount of rent to it. You have to pay amount of wages to it. You have to pay amount of interest to it. And there is this profit which would be taken. Then only the business would be sustainable. Otherwise, you cannot sustain the business. இல்ல சார் என் சொந்த இடத்துல பண்றதுனால ரெண்ட் இல்ல அப்படி சொல்லக்கூடாது. சரிங்களா? You are getting that particular share of money as rent only. It is not profit. If you work in your own business, you will get it as wage only. You will be only taking that particular amount as profit only if you act as an entrepreneur alone. அப்போதான் அது வரது எல்லாமே உங்களுக்கு profit. Are you getting the point? So the people online, are you understanding? So for any production happens, rent should be there, wage should be there, interest should be there, profit should be there. And apart from this, what you have to keep it in mind is there is no other way out of this four way you can earn money. இதை நாளை தவிர வேற எப்படியாவது நீங்க earn பண்ண முடியுமா மணிய? வேற ஏதாவது வழி இருக்கா? ஒன்னு என்ன பண்ணலாம்? You can have some land which your father and your grandparents have bought it for you. You can rent them and you can survive. Or you can go somewhere, work whatever the labor could be. You could be a collector, you could be a doctor, you could be a compounder, whatever you want to become, you become. Still you will be getting it through as a wage. Or if you have enough amount of money, you can give it out as loan and get the interest and you can survive. Or you will be a businessman and you can get the profit and you will survive. Other than these means, is there any other mean to survive? Is there any other mean to earn? earn பண்ண முடியாது. You will get money through transfer payments. இப்போ ஒரு வெள்ளம் வந்துருச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், there is this flood happening in Chennai. Every family will be given 5,000 rupees. That is an income. That is not earning. That we call it as transfer payment. Government is giving it to you free. That is different. But to earn, only these four ways are. Women are given 1,000 rupees. BPL women are given 1,000 rupees every month. That and all will not come under this categories. But still, to earn, to own the money as a right, these all are the four ways. Are you getting the point? Apart from this, we call it as transfer payment. The transfer payment is for old age people, differently abled people. All those things comes under transfer payment. So these are the things which we call it as factors of income. Based on how these factors of income are controlled, what we do is we divide the economy into three types. Three types of economy is what we divide them into. Actually, there are only two types. The mix of those two types is the third type. சரிங்களா? என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, economically, in the economic terms, we call one type of economy as command economy. Another type of economy as pre-market economy. So command economy and free market economy. So command economy is where these factors of income would be controlled by an external factor. Control or commanded. External factor. Example வந்து என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, the government, that is the society or the state or government. If the government controls these factors of income, land, how much the rent should be, how much the wages should be, how much the capital interest should be, how much the profit should be, solely, if the government decides, if it is under the control of government, we call it as socialist society. We call it as socialist society. In socialist society, the factors of income should be controlled by the government. The government will own all the factors of income. The land will be government's. You will be working only for the government. All the jobs would be government jobs. All the capital would be government's money. All the business would be done by government. In that case, we call it as a pure form of socialist society. சரிங்களா? அதுவே if it is been done by a community, community என்ன? anarchy, anarchy என்ன அர்த்தம்? no government, abolition of government. அதுதான் வந்துட்டு the ideal communism means. சரிங்களா? அப்போ when it is commanded by community, கார்ல் மார்க்ஸ் ஸ்பீக்ஸ் அபவுட் அபாலிஷன் ஆஃப் கவர்மெண்ட். ஏன் அப்படின்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா, கவர்மெண்ட் எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா பியூரோக்ரசி எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆகும். பியூரோக்ரசி எக்ஸிஸ்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா பியூரோக்ரசி வில் சப்ரஸ் த பீப்புள். தேர் வில் பி டீவியேஷன் இன் எக்கானமின்னு சொல்லி கார்ல் மார்க்ஸ் சொல்றாரு. கார்ல் மார்க்ஸ் என்ன சொல்றாரு? நோ கவர்மெண்ட் ஷுட் பி தேர். த பீப்புள் தேர் இஸ், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் போலீஸ் இருக்காங்க, அவங்க என்ன ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்றாங்க? What do they produce? If you take away police from the equation, what less we will get? They are not doing anything productive. Government is not doing anything productive. இப்போ ஒரு ஸ்வீப்பர் இருக்காருன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அவர் கிளீன் பண்றாரு ரோட்டை. ஒரு ஒரு ஹோட்டல்காரர் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு சமைக்கிறதுக்கு சாப்பாடு செஞ்சு கொடுக்கறாரு. ஒரு ஒரு மேனுஃபேக்சரர் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு வந்து பென், பென்சில் எல்லாமே செஞ்சு கொடுக்குறாரு. அந்த மாதிரி போலீஸ் நம்மளுக்கு என்ன பண்றாங்க? That's what the service what they render to us is useless அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு அவரு. ஏன்னா அதுல எந்த ப்ரொடக்டிவிட்டியும் கிடையாது. They are unwantedly placed அப்படின்னு சொல்லி see, that's not reality, but that's what Karl Marx claims. அதனாலதான் அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு? கவர்மெண்டே அபாலிஷ் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்றாரு. That's why he says to abolish the government. No, government abolish பண்ணாதான் என்ன ஆகும்? Bureaucracy would get abolished. Then only people will not be suppressed அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்றாரு. So அப்படி இருக்கும்போது when the community takes over, we call that type of government as communism. அது வந்து நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம்? கம்யூனிசம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சொல்றோம். அப்போ சோசியலிஸ்டிக் சொசைட்டி இஸ் வெரி மச் பாசிபிள், பட் கம்யூனிஸ்டிக் சொசைட்டி இஸ் நாட் பாசிபிள். இட்ஸ் an ஐடியல் ஸ்டேட். அது எந்த மாதிரியான பீப்புள் அங்க இருக்கணும்னா செல்ஃப் ரெகுலேட்டிவ் பீப்புள் இருக்கணும். ஒரு 10 பவுண்ட் ரோட்ல கடந்தாலும் நீங்க எடுக்கக்கூடாத அளவுக்கு உங்களோட மைண்ட் செட் இருந்தா தான் கம்யூனிஸ்ட் பேட்டர்ன் ஆஃப் சொசைட்டி வர முடியும். இல்லைன்னா கண்டிப்பா போலீஸ் தேவை. அது கெட்டிங் த பாயிண்ட். ஒரு 2 பவுண்ட் கீழே கிடக்குது, உங்களால எடுத்து கொடுக்கற அளவுக்கான உங்களுக்கு மைண்ட் செட் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா தான் யூ கேன் திங்க் அபவுட் கம்யூனிசம். அதர்வைஸ் யூ கேனாட் திங்க் அபவுட் கம்யூனிசம் அட் ஆல். சரிங்களா? So it's an ideal state. If all these factors of land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship is controlled by demand and supply, in other words, we call it as market forces. If it has been controlled by demand and supply, that is by the market forces, we call it as free market economy. The price of the land would be decided based on the demand. The price of the labor would be decided based on the demand. How much interest is also based on the demand. So for example, now you get rice in ration shop for how many rupees? 2 rupees. Is it the real price of the rice? Is it what we get it? Is it what according to the demand? Is it what the price of the rice, or it's been made to be sold at a lesser rate? It's been made to be sold as a lesser rate. In this case, demand and supply is getting defied by the government's intervention. அப்போ அதை நம்ம என்ன சொல்றோம்? Not a pure form of free market economy. Pure form of free market economy என்னன்னா, the prices of the product should be decided based on the demand and supply of the product. There should be no intervention of an external forces. In that case, we call that type of economy as free market economy. What is an example of free market economy? We call them as capitalist economy. We call them as capitalist economy. So capitalist economy is an example of free market economy. Socialist economy is an example of command economy, because the land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship is not being controlled by demand and supply, rather by an external force. So that is why they are called as command economy. But if it is been controlled by demand and supply, we will call them as free market economy. In other words, it is called as capitalist economy. Are you getting the point? So now what happened is, the pure form of socialist economy, there are certain shortfalls. Enna shortfalls na? There is no competition, only one player. When there is no competition, there is no need to provide better products. People will not be competing. If there is no competition induced, what would be the result? The quality would be poor. Erstwhile BSNL did not work properly, or erstwhile Airtel did not give us proper data because he did not or she did not had proper competition. When Jio came in, when proper competition came in, what happened? Everybody reduced the price of data. Everybody started giving us better services. So when there is more competition only, people will get better services. There would be more competition induced. So what happened is, in 1990s, this socialistic pattern was failing. And after the disintegration of USSR, United Soviet Socialist Republic, what happened was, the socialist pattern of society, the world came to know that it will not survive anymore. So even India was forced to convert from a socialistic pattern to a mixed economy. At the same time, in 1930s and 40s itself, the pure form of capitalism failed. Why the pure form of capitalism failed? In capitalist economy, there is this concept called as rich becoming richer and poor becoming poor. And when the poor become so much poor that they cannot buy your products, in that case, what would happen? The rich will again become poor because rich has to sell the products to the poor. ஒரு ஷாம்பு கம்பெனி இருக்குன்னா அவன் எப்படி பணக்காரனா? He sold the shampoo to the poor. கரெக்டா? புவர்னால வாங்கவே முடியலன்னா ஷாம்பு கம்பெனி ஓனர் என்னவா? Are you getting the point? அப்ப என்ன ஆகுனா, pure form of capitalism also will fail. Pure form of capitalism, it is not sustainable. அதே மாதிரி pure form of socialism also, it's not sustainable. So what we came up with, we came up with something what we call it as mix of both the type of economy. We took the advantage of socialist economy. We took what are the advantages things we have with capitalist economy, and we came up with a mixture. We call them as mixed economy. Mixed economy, few of the essential products will follow the socialistic pattern of society, and all the luxury products would follow the capitalistic pattern of society. இப்போ உங்களோட ஐபோன் என்ன பேசிஸ்ல ரேட் டிசைட் பண்றாங்க? Based on the demand it has. You don't get subsidies for iPhone. You don't get subsidies for luxury cars. You don't get subsidies for entertainment. Rather, if it comes to the matter of essential product like education, essential product like medicine, அப்படின்னு வரப்போது என்ன பண்றாங்க? It is been getting controlled through the government. கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? Free medicines தராங்க, free education தராங்க, free they are providing you with the rice, food to eat. So all these things has been provided as per the socialistic pattern. But at the same time, there are certain products which have been provided to you through capitalistic pattern also. So here what we do is, we are going with a combination of both socialistic as well as capitalistic characteristics. So that's why we call it as mixed economy. Today, in the real world, everything which we come across follows some kind of mixed pattern of society. You might say China is a socialistic country, they do follow capitalistic ideologies. Export பண்றாங்க வெளிநாட்டுல in the foreign countries, they have so much of investments happening, so they do follow the capitalistic pattern also. So if you take USA as a pure form of capitalist asarnu kettinga, no, that is also, it's not wrong. They also have insurance schemes, They also interfere in the economic activities. They also interfere in the neighboring countries' economic activities. All these things they are also doing. Likewise, in today's scenario, we follow a type of economy, what we call it as mixed economy, where we have a combination of both command as well as free market economy. So, any doubts regarding what we have discussed till right now? So are you getting a glimpses of what we are going to learn in economy? So economicல வந்து எக்கானமில வந்து என்னென்ன படிக்க போறோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி தெரியுதா? So next we need to understand few of the concepts with respect to different sectors of economy. So அடுத்து நம்ம படிக்க போகும்போது என்ன படிப்போம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா different sectors of economy. That is, we have primary sector, secondary, and tertiary sector. So tertiary, three sectors we have. So what is primary sector? Primary sector are those professions where we get the resources out of the nature directly. For example, on the agriculture produces என்ன அக்ரிகல்ச்சர்ல வந்து wheat, rice, pulses, millets இதெல்லாமே நம்ம எங்க இருந்து ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்றோம்? டைரக்டா நேச்சர்ல இருந்து ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்றோம். Things what we receive from the nature directly is what we call it as primary sector. சரிங்களா? Not allied activity. Allied activity na இப்போ for example வந்து நீங்க agricultural products எடுத்து அதை நீங்க வந்து process பண்றீங்க அப்படிங்கும்போது அதை வந்து secondary sector அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். So you take the products out of agriculture, and what you do is you process them, and in that items what we call it as the items which comes out of secondary sector. இப்போ primary sector animal husbandry இருக்கு, இல்ல வந்துட்டு கோல் எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ஷன் இருக்கு. இதெல்லாமே நம்ம எங்க இருந்து பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா we do it directly from நேச்சர்ல இருந்து டைரக்டா எடுக்கிறோம். செகண்டரி செக்டர்ல என்ன பண்றோம்னா இந்த நேச்சரா எடுக்கக்கூடிய ரா மெட்டீரியல்ஸா ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி we are making it for a better use. This is what we do it with the secondary sector. So primary sectorலயும் secondary sectorலயும் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒற்றுமை என்னன்னா the similarity between primary and secondary sector is that we produce goods in both these sectors. அதாவது என்னன்னா we produce those products which we can actually touch and feel. சரிங்களா? அதே நேரத்துல இந்த tertiary sector what we provide அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா we provide with those services which we might not be able to touch and feel them. Service, yeah, exactly. So in the tertiary sector, what we get is we call it as service sector. Are you getting the point? So அப்படி இருக்கும்போது we come across three types of sectors in our economy. So these are the three sectors which we have to know. சரிங்களா? With this, we will be winding up today's section. So if you have any doubts, you may ask. Is there anything which we have to discuss? See, with respect to the classes here, whatever we have seen today is basic of economy. Without this knowledge, you cannot proceed forward. So with this knowledge, we will be getting into the actual subjects and we will be learning it in detail later. So tertiary sectors are those sectors which provides you with services. For example, IT enabled services, or you go to a hotel, they will provide you with certain services. Like tourism is a service. You cannot touch and feel tourism. You can actually enjoy them. You can experience them. That's why they are called as services. So in tertiary sector, whatever the output is, it would be intangible. You cannot touch and feel them. That's what the definition of tertiary sector is. Secondary sector is nothing but the processed sector, the sector where you process the raw material. Primary sector is the sector where you create the raw materials. So to tell about this institution, this organization is a non-for-profit organization. So here we don't much available in the commercial spaces. So if you wanted to learn, that's your prime motive. In that case, we are open to you. We don't give much emphasis upon fees and all those kind of things. You can study how much ever you want to study. All the staffs here are well experienced. We teach you from the basics till the advanced level. We have here the experts who can teach you things. And apart from that, you will have regular tests. And what you need to understand here is you need to have a good communication and writing practices in order to clear this examination that we will be providing you with. You don't have to worry. So if you are going to get an overall package here, there is not going to be much of crowd in this particular batch. So maximum of 30 people is 30 to 40 people is what we are going to intake in each batches. So it should be very comfortable, convenient for you to learn. You can ask your doubts whenever you need. We will be always be available here. So ethically, this organization is to give an ethical way of education to the people. We don't betray you. You don't have to worry. There are many organizations. I personally have got betrayed. They will not give you a complete package, but here they will not do it so because Chinmaya mission is a very big mission. They will not be spoiling their names, so you don't have to worry about it. You can very well believe them and come. Believe us and come. There is nothing wrong in it. Right? You will not be regret your decision. So apart from that, if you have any doubts, you might ask. We have experts here. You will be helping you out with all your queries. So this institution is actually run based on the guidance given to us by the retired bureaucrats. There are a set of 20 to 50 to 15 to 20 people who regularly visit us and mentor us. So we have links throughout the country where from wherever the help you need, we can fetch the help. So you don't have to worry about those kind of support system which we are capable of providing. So these are the advantages of you getting into this academy, to this institution. So I would prefer people to come online, offline. I mean, you have to be here to study well. Online is the second best option, but always the first best option is offline. And if that option is not available, definitely you can go for online also. So it's like 90% of things you will be getting in online also. But if you need 100, you have to be here. So that's the reality which we are speaking about. And we'll have continuous writing practices every day. So after every classes, you will be given the handouts and everything would be given to you properly. So you don't have to worry about. So this is what I wanted to speak about the organization. So regarding the class, if you have any feedbacks, you might uh, get back to us, not an issue. So other than that, we might travel together. It would be a great journey. Is there anything which we need to discuss? See, fee structure is, it would be very affordable. It would be less than 1 lakh for complete course. I'm not very sure about the exact numbers. It's less somewhere around 90, including GST. 85 plus GST is what the fee structure is. You don't have to worry about fee structure. You can come and negotiate it. Because if based on your family background and your thing, they will be reducing some percentage of money and they will be getting it. That's what I told you in the beginning itself, right? It's not a commercial institution where we don't put much of emphasis upon fees and all. You can actually come and learn. If you have the hunger to learn, we will be helping you out. Chiringa. If you have that, if you want to become an officer, we are here to help you. Basically, this is a non-for-profit religious organization. So here we are here to help you. So then you may ask why you are getting the fees. Without getting the fees, if you let you free means you will not be serious. That's point number one. Second is to give salaries to the people here, and to maintain the infrastructure, we need some money. It cannot be completely depend upon the donations. So that's why we are getting a basic bare minimum fees. That is also will be almost, it will be given in twice or thrice once you get into these services. I mean, get into the academy, you will be given back multiple times only. நீங்க எவ்வளோ 80,000 ரூபாய் கொடுத்துட்டு நான் வந்து எங்களுக்கு அதான் ஈக்குவலண்டா சர்வீஸ் கிடைக்குமான்னு சார்னா, you will get services equivalent to 2 to 3 times extra தான். So we will be spending on you more than what you pay to us. So you don't have to worry about the fees and all. Fees and all, it's very meager. I personally would say that it's a very less amount of money compared to other institutions. If you go to another commercial institution, if you pay 2 lakh rupees, on the day on which your classes gets over, from the next day, you cannot enter the organization. Here it is not like that. Till you get the services, we will support you one way or another. That and all, you don't have to worry. Here we are to support you till you get the service. You don't have to worry about those kind of things and all. About the online fees, it is 65,000 plus GST. It will be somewhere around 75 to 78. I'm a teaching staff. I'm not much aware of the fee structures. If you have any doubts regarding the fee structure, you can call the office and ask. They will let you know the office, the structure. 65,000 plus GST. So somewhere around 75 to 78 would be for online. Want to listen to NCRT classes in offline, but see, you can always come here. There are hostels here. You can stay and you can. So is there anything else which we need to discuss? உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது doubts இருக்கா? நைட்ல தூங்கலையா? நைட் ஒர்க் பண்றீங்களா? நைட் ஷிஃப்டா? Not see, all the NCRTs would be covered in 20 days. You don't have to worry about it. See, NCRT classes are very important because we get direct questions from those subjects, like 7 to 8 questions directly. See, always you have to keep one thing in mind. This is a competitive examination. You have to be better than your friends. Anybody preparing for UPSC would know NCRT. If a question comes from NCRT, everybody would write it right. Everybody would make it correct. So you also should be in a position to make it correct. If you make one NCRT question wrong, which means you have been pushed, let's say 1,000 positions back. Because everybody will make that question right. Are you getting the point? That's why NCRT becomes all the more important. Are you getting the point? NCRT la vandu or question varudhu. There is this question which gets appeared from NCRT. Everybody who is preparing for UPSC will know the answer. If you don't prepare NCRT and go, you will not know the answer for that particular question. In that case, you will be in a disadvantageous position because everybody is writing answer for that question. Are you getting the point? Why NCRT is important? Because and for NCRT, there will be only 6 to 7 questions. But all the 7 questions, you have to make it right. Because everybody else is going to make it right. I'm getting the point. That's why NCRT becomes all the more important. 20 days spending on NCRT is not a very big deal. It is actually worth spending. There are years where more than 10 questions also gets appeared from an NCRT directly. Indirectly, there would be more than 10 questions. 20, 24, 5 questions would come from NCRTs. Indirectly, from NCRTs, you can answer them. But from directly, what is what in Kekaravu? There was this question with regarding to Alexander Ray, which came last year. Banjaras came. A Persian wheel, so a Persian wheel question came from NCRT directly. A question about fig came from NCRT directly. So many questions comes from NCRT. So attending NCRT class is very useful actually, according to me at least. So are we clear? So if you have any doubts, you may ask. Otherwise, I will be winding up today's session. So thank you. Thank you, guys.